Welcome to the home of QFA Division 2 North Alpha Sport Premiership live stream action on the YouTube AFLQ channel. AFL Queensland would like to thank Alpha Sport as the naming rights partner for QFA Division 2 North Football, a fantastic partner and name synonymous with supplying AFL clubs right around the country. We thank them for their ongoing support of community football in Queensland. Good afternoon and welcome to Red Rooster Park. We're just minutes away from the Division 2 North Senior Grand Final between the Sandgate Hawks and the Alexandra Hills Bombers. My name's Riley Guest and it's a very good afternoon to the man everything's competitions in Queensland, Mitch Simpson. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks Riley. Thanks for having us and thanks for tuning in wherever you may be watching footy from this afternoon. It's a beautiful day for footy here. It's hot, there's a bit of a breeze, keeping things moving, and there's a huge crowd rolled in, Riley. You've just come through the car park. It's heaving out there.
Absolutely. I think Oval 3 there is just jam-packed with cars at the moment. It's fantastic to see community football, especially with the Lions playing this evening at the Gabba as well. The people still taking their time to come out to their local grassroots footy clubs and supporting their local clubs. We've got 4 grand finals here today. We've had one already. We've had the reserves and the men. We've got the seniors men now, and we've got the women's seniors this afternoon, just the 3 grand finals. So Sandgate Hawks, just the one loss so far this year, although they only snuck through by 3 points in the first semi-final against Alex Hills, winning by 3 points. And Alex Hills winning last week to come through to the grand final, although a big shock, or the big change, I suppose, for Sandgate is losing Daniel Day out for an ACL injury, which he succumbed to in the semi. How do you think that kind of changes their lineup, Mitch?
Look, there hasn't been much between the two sides all year. I think Day's obviously been outstanding for them, but it's a big grand final. Anything can happen. As we just saw, Sandgate came in as favourites in the reserves and got heavily beaten. I think funny things can always happen on grand final day, Riley. But there's some exciting players right across the park as well. I think for me, Aaron Fabian, one of the keys down forward for the Hawks. He's their captain. He's been outstanding this year, and Tristan Just King, he's one of the premier rucks in this competition as well. So they're a couple for Sandgate that I'm certainly looking to stand up for today.
So Sandgate have got 2 changes from the side that knocked off Alex Hills 2 weeks ago. Jarvis Poppleton and Lachlan Joyce are the 2 ins. Day, who we've already mentioned, and Aiken Sertle, the 2 outs. For Alex Hills from their victory last week, Daniel Bevan comes in and Jordan Bain is the unfortunate one to miss out. Players making their way into their starting spots now. Sandgate will be kicking to the left of screen, Alex Hills to the right. Bit of akadaka just to get everyone in the mood. It's a gorgeous day for football. It's nice and cool up in the commentary box today, Mitch, as well. We've got the aircon working today as opposed to last week when we were at Brendale.
No, beautiful conditions here. It is an outstanding complex here at Moreton Bay, home of the mighty Moreton Bay Lions. Just before we do bounce, acknowledging our umpires today in charge of the grand final. Our field umpires, Kai Knight, Thomas Gordon and Keegan Mosley. And, of course, call out Bradnam's Windows and Doors as the statewide partner of umpiring in Queensland.
So the stage is set, conditions are perfect. We're at the Lions' Den, and let's rumble in the jungle in this Division 2 North Grand Final. Sandgate, the first clear hand pass. Sam Lundy Jenkins from the Bombers applying a tackle. So we'll have a stoppage straight away. Sandgate front position and tap the ball on nicely into the path of Marola. Ball's at half forward now. Great spinning pickup by Elton, one of the 2 vice-captains for the Hawks. Inside forward 50 now. And Norrish happy to rush it behind. Opening score of the game inside the opening minute.
Yeah, first clearance there, obviously. Love it to Overington to get that ball out of centre. I think there too that will really be a real handful today, and no doubt we'll call that combination a few times this afternoon, Riley. So not a lot of movement now. Elects just to play on from the square and sends it long. Sort of a darting ball touched over the back of the pack. Will it stay in? Just happy to see the ball out over the boundary line. In fact, they've picked up a little out on the full there. So Johnny on the spot, the boundary umpire says out on the full, coming off the shin of the big ruckman, Juffs King. So Alex Hills just send it long down the line. It's all Sandgate up the ground, however. And the ball rolls out now for the first boundary throw-in of the day.
It's a very big ground here at Moreton Bay, Mitch, so sides are going to be having to work both sides of the ground to cover off that space. How do you think that might affect players late in the game?
Yeah, certainly a warm day. When you get to September and you're playing footy, it's pretty warm, and that combined with the big oval. I think what we certainly saw in the first game today is really tight contested for the first half, and then it really opens up in the second half later this afternoon. So it'll be really interesting to see who can hit the scoreboard early and start to apply that pressure. As there's Lovett again, just getting that clearance, but to no real advantage.
Both
We'll have
him
a
and
repeat stoppage.
Him and Sweeney have been looking very dangerous at the clearances already. Early stages, I know, but they're on the move and they look like they're really hard to stop and bring down.
Yeah, they are. They're strong ball winners inside, and as I touched on before, Just King can give them plenty of first usage today. Certainly got the height advantage there in the ruck.
So the Bombers kind of holding off their opponents. They'll win the clearance here. Gives it to himself, does Dylan. He's worked the ball up 30 metres, taken down. O'Hara gets a hand pass away in the nick of time out near the boundary line, and in the end the ball will go over. So a nice little bit of play there by Max Dillon. Gained about 30 metres and a hand pass to himself. Some good pressure from the Bombers to kind of trap the ball inside their half of the field for the first time today. 2.5 minutes, the Hawks lead 1 point. The Bombers yet to score.
So Sandgate got a couple of spare here. Looks like...
Going to have that one thrown back in again, I think.
Looks like O'Hara just sitting off the back here, which means Alex will no doubt have one spare up the ground.
Yeah, it's Catlow Elliott is about 40 metres away in between the two Hawks half forwards.
So the breeze just blowing left to right of screen, probably slightly towards the broadcast side, which hopefully will bring us a bit of footy on this side of the park, as Lovett there gets another hand on the footy with Sweeney again into Overington. So plenty of their prime movers getting their hands on it early, which is ominous signs for Alex Hills, as the ball's just seen over the boundary line there by Westerberg.
I think territory is going to be really important in the first 10-15 minutes of this game. We've seen plenty of stoppages already. Yeah. Only the one inside forward 50 between the two teams.
As you said, the big oval is really critical to make sure you can lock that footy in your half as much as possible. Really force the other team to work if they're going to score.
So the stoppage. The Bombers, clean hands, thrown on the boot by McKean. In the middle, well, not the middle of the ground. It's a very big wing out there. Sandgate knocked the ball into the centre square. Bombers will have numbers first. Good tackle by Murphy. Holds up. Bombers go up to half forward through Lundy Jenkins. Good tackle. Umpire says play on. Hawks wanted a free kick. They've got the ball now. A composed kick, and they've just had the chance to settle. Move the ball quickly up to Elton. Just forward to the wing. Plays on. It was actually Johnstone. Gives it to a teammate running by. The best kick inside forward 50, and in fact it's gone out of bounds on the full. So the Bombers will have the chance to rebound through Joshua Brown. First time we've seen the ball on the far side of the ground today, Mitch.
Yeah, and you look at that, you see Alex Hills come switch straight to this side, trying to use that win to the advantage.
And they've covered quite well, actually, at the moment, Sandgate. To pop that one over the top.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you've got to run pretty hard here if you are going to switch the footy to make it worth the while. As we see plenty of one-on-ones down the ground here as they just kick it long, but they're going to turn this one over. So it's marked well there by Livesey.
Yeah, not the best of kicks by Jaden Brown.
So goes on quick to Overington. Has all the time in the world there. Just evades one. Sends it long deep again inside 50. Bit of an appeal for her holding the man, but I think that was a bit of theatre there by Westerberg appealing for that free. And the ball's rolled out over the boundary line.
Had a hot start, Thomas Overington. He seems to be going at about a touch a minute, and he's using the ball very well.
Yeah, no, class midfielder at the moment, and he's actually just standing there all by himself behind the footy. So I imagine Alex Hills will probably want to get someone onto him pretty quick.
Actually, speaking of spare players, Aaron Fabian, hands on knees. He's about 10 metres back at this stoppage, all by himself too. Hit out one by Westerberg. Inside the forward 50, a bit of pressure applied by the Hawks. The Bombers need to be clean, taken to ground, ball spills out. Almost kicking in danger against the Bombers. They've got the ball near the boundary line. Back with a hand pass, it'll be a dump kick. Take them outside of their defensive 50. Numbers are even from both sides. Good fist from the Bombers forward. Although it went straight to a teammate, Alex Packer, and he was wrapped up straight away. They've got it out of their defensive 50. Just a little bit going on behind the play. Will Lovett copping a bit... not Will Lovett, sorry. Joel Ambachester copping a bit of attention. Surging forward now, the Bombers. It's really tight and contested off the ground, although probably should have let his teammate pick it up. Hawks, Lovett. Hand pass out the back. There's that man Overington inside forward 50. Lowers the ice in the path of a teammate. We've actually had a free kick to the Alexandra Hills Bombers.
Yeah, looks like a bit of ill-disciplined strike off the footy, so it's going to be...
From where the mark was taken, I believe, by the Hawks. So the Bombers will have the ball at half-back.
So Catlow Elliott looks like he's going to have the free, but still a little bit of...
No. Now it's back with the Hawks. So it's Overington.
So a bit of confusion there, but the end result, Overington now is going to have a slightly ambitious shot, elects not to go. Spots up a teammate, clever bit of move there. So
he's had the last 2 kicks and both inside 50, and he's found targets both times.
Yeah, benefit of a little bit of confusion there. I think the Alex Hills defence just wasn't quite able to reset. But nevertheless, Darcy Johnston, as we tick through 7.5 minutes, has the opportunity to put the first goal on the board for the match. So stiff breeze. It is blowing probably straight into his face, slightly towards the camera. So he's going to have to start it out just to the right-hand side. Strikes it pretty well. Celebrate straight away. And Darcy Johnson opens the goal tally for the Sandgate Hawks in the 2024 Grand Final.
I think that goal just come in as a reward of dominance or territorial dominance so far in the opening stages of this match. They've been a bit better around the clearances as well. Sweeney, Lovett and Overington. Plenty of touches early, plenty of clean touches as well. The Bombers just a little bit panicky, a little bit fumbly at times in and around those stoppages. Just need to be a little bit cleaner, take those first options. Haven't gone inside forward 50 yet, but they've only given up the 1 goal, so definitely by no means panic stations. It's a tough ask for Jake Payne in the ruck, a bit undersized. Lost King with the hit out. And then the hand pass came out, but it was cut off by the Bombers, and they'll go up to half forward. Overruns the ball. Oh, how did he dispose of it? Umpire thought he did so legally. McKean up against the boundary. Goes inside forward 50 on his left boot. Not to a bad spot. Good kick, good mark. No, umpire said play on. Ben Murray perhaps a tad unfortunate. And in the end, we'll have a ball up.
Yeah, I thought he might have had it done enough there to convince the umpire, but not to be. Ben Murray, absolute superstar of the competition, leading the way this year with 80 majors. He'll certainly be one that Alex Hills will want to get going early in this game and hit the scoreboard as the ball sort of just pinballs its way out of defensive 50. Bit of a high contact there, umpire, wrong side of the contest to pick that one up. So the ball is just bouncing around. No one really able to get clean possession. Sandgate still trying their hardest as now they finally get a kick away, but it's all Alex Hills up the ground as it just settles there with Brown. And he looks to go inboard. Dangerous kick if that holds up in the breeze as Fabian tries his best to get a hand in on that one. Strong bit of contest. Alex Hill's making hard work of this, but they managed to squeeze a kick out up forward, and believe it or not, they're going to go into attack here. So, big strong contact there by Just King, just lurking back behind the footy. And we'll have a ball up. So they made the hard work of that, but all of a sudden Alex Hills are in a good spot here to hit the scoreboard.
Definitely going to the better end with the wind favouring that end slightly. From the hit out, though, the Hawks, good hand pass out in the path of Poppleton. Just a moment to collect it on his right foot. Up to half forward, although the Bombers again with the numbers. McKenzie goes to ground. Fabian fights hard, gets a hand pass out. Now comes the supporter, though his teammate fumbles at the crucial moment. 2-on-2. Bombers go back to the spare. Dances around one and then eventually gets it on the boot, although it's to no one. So the Hawks with a moment to compose. Gather cleanly, gets around a tackler, and then inboard nicely to Overington. Has to reach up above his head, but eventually hauls it in. He's just forward of wing. He'll play on his left boot, inside forward 50. His teammate drops the mark after working so well to get front position, and Ladich inboard nicely. They can attack from a dangerous spot here, the Bombers. They like to change angles when going by foot. There's this 20-metre kick. That's the one. Umpire a bit late on the whistle. To Murray, over his head. Sorry, yep. I'll have to go back and get it. He's going to get this footy now. Ducks his head into the tackle. Swings a hand pass out, although it goes straight to the weight-in Hawks player. Kicks it up to half to the wing. And a nice mark taken, and they'll move the ball quickly as they go inside forward 50, Mitch.
So it's just plenty of numbers around this contest for Sandgate. They just seem to have 1, 2, 3 extras. And as you can see, there are green and red jumpers everywhere, unmarked inside that forward 50. They're just just having the ability to find extras around every contest at the moment, Sandgate, and every time Alex Hills turn over this footy, they're just finding their way out of the contest. So Overington takes the unselfish option again and finds Angus Wagner. So he'll line up for his first of the afternoon.
Sandgate is just using the ball a lot better at the moment. Finding more targets, making far fewer mistakes.
Yeah, as Overington comes to the bench for the well-earned rest. As Wagner struck it pretty well, and they get around him. Angus Wagner kicks his first, Sandgate second. And as we tick through the 12 minutes of the first quarter, it's all Sandgate. 2-1-13, leading Alex Hills yet to score.
Both sides trying to maximise the width and length of the ground by foot. But at the moment, Sandgate are just hitting more targets, and that's Overington's third kick inside forward 50 where he's found a target. So a change in the ruck for the Hawks. Westerberg in, still paying for the Bombers. It's like Westerberg's going the short run up. Payne wins the hit out, tapped forward by Westra. Although Lovett gets the fend off and then kind of threw out a hand pass. Umpire deemed it okay. Westerberg, the ruck, following up. Nice hand pass out wide to a runner. And this is where we talk about those numbers. Polinsky up to half back. Finds a teammate with a short kick. Wanted to go short, eventually down the wing nicely to Elton, who worked quite hard for that one. He's got Chard and Long. Said, puts it to a teammate who was from behind, and a good fist in the end. I think that was Daniel Bevan. Ball goes out over the boundary line.
So it looks like Just King's going to roll back up. He just went down for a little breather at full forward. But it's a handy duo. Westerberg, obviously, key forward, but a very accomplished ruckman as well. So Westerberg sets himself nicely, taps it down, but well sharked there by Alex Hill. So the ball rolls out to the far side. Sandgate got one behind here, so they need to just be conscious not to turn this ball straight over, and it looks like that's exactly what they might do. As Sandgate mop up here with that spare that I just touched on, and that is Westerberg, so he's gone right back deep now. And clearing boot goes the Hawks, but it's all Alex Hills now, so they turn it over. Here's an opportunity through Packer. He sends it wide, bit of a foot race now out to the near side. Looks like Sandgate's going to get to it first. Good chase there to put the pressure on. A couple of Alex Hills players up the ground. Good strong tackle there, however, by Just King. It was Barker, sorry. So Barker's gone in hard. He's laid two strong tackles in a row. A little bit overzealous on that one, but he's certainly bringing the heat, Riley.
Just want to talk about the great bit of play by Lucas Kent here, who might actually cut that off. He does. Just before, as the ball goes out over the boundary line, where he had to race his half forward out on this flank, gathered the ball cleanly and kicked it, 30, 40 metres down the line, and then he's backed up that by forcing the ball out of bounds. Good bit of play from him. A couple of good moments early in the game. Always good to be involved early in a grand final. 15 minutes through, Sandgate 2-1-13. Alexandra Hills yet to score. Loves King hit out. Bombers will get there first. Lovett overruns it. Ladich. Ball's out the back, almost like a scrum half waiting to pick it up for the Hawks. But in the end, the ball went nowhere. Fair bit of feeling in this game early on, as you would expect in a grand final.
Yeah, they've been the two best sides all year. They know each other very well. As we touched on pre-game, Sandgate just coming home with a 3-point win in the qualifying final. So they'll be well rested today. Expect them to have plenty of run in their legs. But as we know, Alex Hills played out a big game against Redcliffe last weekend in the heat. So they may well be just enough tuned in the heat to carry their legs through this game as well.
So Dion Brinkow is standing there next to Lovett at this stoppage. Payne does well. Westerberg was caught behind. Wester as well on hands and knees. That might be Ladich, who's down behind play at the moment. Bit of a sore collarbone perhaps. Ball with Wagner. Bad hand pass. Here go the Bombers. Riley hand passes to Seller at the top of the 50. Set sail for home to Zachary Seller, and his kick bounces through. First goal of the game for the Alexandra Hills Bombers, courtesy of Zachary Seller. A great finish from outside 50. They put a bit of pace on the ball, and was well cut off in the middle of the ground. They forced a turnover. Bad hand pass by Angus Wagner. And the Bombers capitalising.
Yeah, a bit of something from nothing there. I think it was a clever hand pass from Jordan Riley. Opened Seller up there. And a little bit of breeze there sort of helping that ball work itself back through the goals. But, yeah, great finish. And probably the one they needed. They've been under the pump, Alex Hills. 17 minutes gone, hadn't hit the scoreboard yet. That's a crucial one to give them a little bit of confidence as we head into the backstage of this first term.
We've seen Sandgate deploy a spare man in defence, rolling their rucks, the full forward up to ruck, and the ruck spare back. Westerberg got the hit out. The Bombers will get the clearance. Positioned himself nicely, did the Hills Bombers forward, inside forward 50. The hand pass to Brinkow could have been a little bit better. They've got a chance now from about 35. Good run-down tackle last moment by O'Hara. Flicks a hand pass out over the top. Don't know how he got away with that. Well done by Lubke, although there's a free kick for a hold going the way of the Bombers. I think this is Lachlan McKean, number 22. I missed that free kick. Sorry, Mitch. I was looking down at my team sheet.
Yeah, I think there's a little high free kick there paid just at the bottom of the pack there. So
good work from the Bombers to keep the ball alive. Just a bit of chaos ball and probably asking a couple of questions of the Hawks' defence that they haven't asked today thus far.
Yeah, a bit of quick ball, chaotic sort of movement. And it's really sort of been the first time all game that the defence of the Hawks have really been tested. So they're showing a few cracks early and proving that they can hit the scoreboard.
So Lachlan McKean has been in the most for his team this year, 8 times. He's kicked 30 goals. He'd love to get one here. I think they've got maybe a blood rule. So it's just a pause in play.
Yeah, Brad Lewis coming to the bench there with a bit of a cut on his knee. So he'll get a bit of gauze on that and we'll be out there again very shortly, you would expect.
McKean from almost directly in front, the left footer. Makes the umpire work, puts it left, minor score. Bombers now trail by just 6 points. But I think McKean would like to have that one back. Got a zone set up, the Bombers do. Ben McElligott with the kick and duties. Runs in and sends it long up to this broadcast wing. Juffs King couldn't take it from behind. Murphy was sold down a river, tackled as soon as he got the footy. And in the end, we have a stoppage.
Yeah, strong tackle by Laddick there. He's starting to impose his sort of pressure around the contest a little bit as well. He looks like he's gone to Lovett, but he'd Lovett just finds a little bit of space there and pushes himself off the footy. But that is Dylan there that gets the kick away. So a little bit of a half volley there comes off the shin of Lubke. And we'll have a boundary throw in. As we head towards the 20-minute mark.
Which of the two coaching panels do you think would be happier so far, Mitch?
Well, without a cliche, it's probably been a quarter of two halves. It was all Sandgate early on, but Alex Hills have just managed to settle themselves into the game. So, well, I think if you're a Bombers coaching group, you'd like to see them hit the scoreboard here again before the end of this term and just probably even up and make sure that they go into the quarter-time break on level pegging. So
that had to be almost a throw from Corey Murphy, a hand pass in 2 parts. The kick from Bevan went very high and very wide. Great spoil by McElligott. I think that's a bit of a tongue twister, that one. The Bombers inside forward 50 now from 30. McKean throws it on the boot, top of the goal square. Mark taken, no, dropped by Murray. In the end, just a rush behind. Good defensive play, desperate defensive play by Lubke.
He's been pretty well held early on, has Murray. Touched him before, leading goal kicker in this comp, kicking 80 this year. He's definitely a force for the Bombers' way to goal. So just a little bit of heat taken out of this one now as Lubke has the footy out in the Hawks' back flank. So he just spots up a target up the ground, but not to be over the top. So can Sandgate clean up now? They've got numbers around the footy. Strong contest there. Just King goes in to pick it up. Good bit of roving work there by the big ruckman.
Max Dillon jumped on his back to lay the tackle.
Yeah, he's giving away a little bit there. So Alex Hills with a couple of spare around this contest. They might just get out here if they can get a clean hands. they sort of just let him go, and Westra just sort of walks his way through that contest and gains his team about 30 or 40 metres up the ground.
Probably lucky in the end, the Hawks, because Westra had a teammate inboard that he probably didn't see. If he'd given the hand pass, he was straight through. There seems to be plenty of space behind or forward for both teams at each stoppage. So if you can kind of get a bit of a run on, get 1 or 2 hand passes going forward, you will have some time and space. The Bombers have got a spare about 20 metres back off this contest. They've also got one spare at the back. But Brinkhouse can't get the ball there. He's tackled. Would have been Lunky Jenkins. Juffs King. Love it. Good gather, hands up, hand pass out of the way. Overington's going to have to go and get this footy, and he did, but then it was knocked out of his hands. He was taken to ground without it. In the end, a player from both sides jumped on the footy, which will result in another ball up. 22 and a half gone opening quarter of this Alpha Sport QFA Division 2 North Seniors Grand Final. Sandgate Hawks, just the one loss for the year. Currently leading by 5 points. Good intercept mark taken by Panham. Looking for Murray. Has to be at about 3. Spoiled by the Hawks, but it'll favour the Bombers. Picked up by McCarthy. His snap from the boundary was high and always wide and out of bounds on the full. I think it must have been about the best part of 10 to 12 minutes since the Hawks have gone inside 50, Mitch. Probably since they kicked that last goal, courtesy of Wagner. Yeah,
plenty of footy played just in this sort of quadrant of the oval right in front of us here on the broadcast wing. So just a little bit of conversation between the two umpires at the moment. The ball must have been touched off the boot. So we're going to have a boundary throw and outside of a goal being kicked. That's probably the best result for Alex Hills. So with only a couple of minutes left in this quarter, a major here will put them in front. So they'll no doubt be wanting one here to end this term on a high.
When they hit out. Sorry, Mitch. Lovett goes and gets it. Hand pass out. Though it's coming back. You would think if Dylan can gather cleanly, he can't. Out of bounds.
So Lovett just makes a little bit of territory and allows Sandgate just to have a breather. So we've got confirmation. There's still a bit over 3 minutes left. So plenty of time left in this first term. It's been pretty contested. A lot of boundary throw-ins with the breeze just pushing the footy over to this near side of the ground. One-on-ones all around this contest now, so they're pretty well matched up. Well read there by McKean. So he sends it forward, a floating footy. McKean dives back on this ball, and you suspect it will be wrapped up, and we'll have a ball up.
Kind of just watching both midfields at these stoppages. They're not really getting on the move. They're kind of like reacting to where the ball is hit. Not hitting the ball at much pace. Free kick going to Lundy Jenkins. Being held without. It's probably a rare example of someone coming onto the ball with a bit of pace.
Well, I think Juff King's actually been so dominant in the first term that Alex Hill's midfield is starting to actually just try and ruck off his tap work at the moment. So
he's the spare as they go inside forward 50 and it affects the contest. Though the hand pass flicked out. Well done, though, by Murphy. And then follows up with a rebounding kick, one-on-one. Far side, Elton's going to have to work quite hard for his Hawks. I think he'd be happy for the ball to go out of bounds, and in the end, that's what happens. A couple of really good defensive efforts by Corey Murphy early on. And that's what this game's predominantly been. A lot of one-on-one contests right around the ground. Sandgate probably a little bit better tactically, getting that spare behind the football and making things a bit harder for Murray at times. Because that's who the Bombers look for every time they go forward. As this stoppage, the ball's near the boundary line and eventually it goes over.
So as we tick through 26 minutes, it is a long term. As the clock almost reads 2 o'clock. It's certainly the warmest part of the day at the moment. There'll be some tired boys out there after a pretty hotly contested first term looking for that quarter-time break. As we'll have another repeat stoppage there on the far wing. So just looking around the ground, Alex Hills have got one back. Looks like Catlow Elliott, the spare behind for the Bombers. They do have plenty of numbers around this contest, however. The kick to the one-on-one isn't great, but they might be able to regather here and get out, and they do. So maybe a chance here for the Bombers to reload. Turned it over, however, but their spare behind the footy just enables them to mop up. So a floating footy to this contest. Strong mark. Stronger contest, rather, and the big fist there sends it long. So one-on-one's up the ground. Who can take this? No one really. Overington now with the footy. He's found a bit of space. Just kicks and hopes. Clever bit of bodywork there by Fabian. He can't... Oh, it's not Fabian, sorry. It was Johnston, rather. So Johnston can't clean up. And they've turned it over, and Alex Hills may just get out of trouble here. But again, that turnover footy, Overington's got it. And a strong mark taken there by Johnstone.
He's probably best on ground at the moment, Thomas Overington. He's had the footy a lot. And probably, as opposed to every other player on the ground, he's used it very well every single time. And that's his 4th inside 50 where he's found a mark. And in a game where we've only had 3 goals as we near quarter time, that sets you apart.
Yeah, I think that's actually Hayden Elton with a footy. I've incorrectly called him there, so Elton lining up. But yeah, you're right, Riley. There's a couple of men you don't want to be turning the footy over in your defensive half to, and Overington's one of them. So Sandgate looked to extend the margin here. Struck it pretty well off the boot, but looks like it's just going to drift over to the left-hand side for a minor score.
So the Bombers keen just to get to quarter time, you would think, with the ball trapped in their back half. It's been a long opening quarter. We should go 29 minutes at least. The Hawks leading by just a goal up at half back for the Alex Hills Bombers. Footy on the ground. Good pick up by Juffs King. Better hand pass out. Teammate couldn't get it. Sweeney. Kick didn't really go anywhere. Lovett went in hard and got it, and then he was wrapped up straight away. Time enough for the Hawks if they're good enough. Overington's got about a metre of space, and you don't really want to be giving him that. Juffs King, the hit out, and then he laid a strong tackle. The umpire rewarded him with only a stoppage. So they need a quick kick and a mark here, the Hawks do. The Bombers just need to get to quarter time. And it's a free kick, and the Bombers will get out of jail. Quarter time in the QFA Division 2 North Alpha Sport Premiership. We've got the Sandgate Hawks 2-2-14 leading the Alex Hills Bombers 1-2-8. The goal kickers for the Hawks, Wagner and Johnstone. And then for the Bombers, Seller, just the 1 goal. We're going to take a break, but please do join us in a couple of minutes for the second quarter action. Welcome back to Red Rooster Park. Thanks to our production partners in Double Take Sports, bringing you all the live QFA action here today. Grand final of the Division 2 North Alpha Sports Premiership. Senior Grand Final, Sandgate Hawks 2-2-14. The Alex Hills Bombers 1-2-8 in a pretty evening opening quarter, Mitch, where I think the Hawks a little bit happier, especially now that the wind will probably favour them in this second term.
Yeah, I think if you're Sandgate, you're probably actually disappointed with the amount of scores they put on the board. I thought they had plenty of possession early. They certainly had a lot more clean possession of that as well. And they just weren't able to sort of get on the scoreboard. Obviously hold a small one-goal margin. Alex Hills was probably a bit of a scrappy first quarter for them. They spend most of the first term chasing Sandgate, but just managed to get a bit of an opportunistic goal, you could call it, with Seller kicking one from outside 50. Certainly keeps them in touch, but I think they'll be looking to shut down the midfield at the moment with Lovett and Overington having plenty of the footy, and we see them both line up in the centre at the moment.
We talk about Ben Murray at quarter time in our little break. He's been pretty quiet so far. He's got the match, or Sam Lupke's got the matchup on him. He's in position, second quarter underway. And a dominant hit out from Jake Payne. Hasn't had too many of those today. Marola, who was best on ground last time these two teams played, got the kick. Great bit of dash by Joshua Brown. Inside forward 50, go the Bombers. Good spoil by the Hawks. That was Corey Murphy with that spoil. Went the best part of 25 metres. He's had a really good game down back so far, the number 9 for the red, green and white. So Murray isolated in the goal square. I think that's the way he probably likes it at the moment. Even numbers around the stoppage. The Bombers got one back. Overington, best on in the first quarter, tried to go wide with the hand pass to his vice-captain in Sweeney. Kicked at the top of the goal square. Murray's around, gets a cruel bounce over the top. McElligott will rebound. Kick into space. Race for a couple of players. Catlow Elliott should get there first for the Bombers. He does. Take it to ground. Well done by Darcy Johnstone. Kicked the first goal of the game, and in the end, the ball went out of play. Great bit of desperation by the Hawks there, Mitch.
Yes. Unlucky bounce there. Just robbed Murray of one there. And as we saw Sandgate sort of doing that first term there, pretty quick to get on their bike and spread this footy out wide. So comes in now. Just King again with a tap over the back. Lovett trying to get this footy. Unable to pick it up, but just decides to tap along a couple and soccer it. So he ends up gaining about 30 metres, but it is turned over here. And Riley just gets pushed off the footy there. Strong work by Fabian, but a poor kick inside 50, and it's all Alex Hills.
Norrish, the rebounding kick to Riley. It was knocked over a moment ago. Wastes no time and plays on. Has to have a bounce. Doesn't have a lot coming at him. So in the end, he's got to go long down towards the boundary to a teammate who kind of worked himself free. And in the end, the ball just trickled out over the line. Interesting how many times teams have gone forward today and had no one to go to. That entry by Fabian, probably a prime example. Kicked it in the middle of 3 Bombers players.
Yeah, I think we've called it a couple of times. Both sides have been pretty happy to drop one behind the contest. But as I say that now, it looks like there's relatively one-on-ones all up the ground.
Seller, the goal kicker for the Bombers. Flick the hand pass over to McKean. Now and again, Lovett. Great tackle from behind. He got Westra. Had a nearly sort of day so far, Will Lovett. It's hard being an inside mid at times if the ball's not sticking cleanly for you. But Lovett's imposed himself physically, and a great tackle. A short kick to Stevens is effective. They've got another one here short in Kent if he wants him. Dances around and back just here. Ball up now with Sweeney. Gives it to Murphy. Inside forward 50. Went over the top. The goal line 2-on-1. Gutsy hit by Norrish in the path of Riley. The young half-backer. His kick is poor. Cut off by the Hawks. 55 out from goal. Inboard looking for Sweeney. Takes the mark. So Harry Sweeney goes back to make it as if he's going to have a shot on goal. And you think with the wind, he's every chance. Just a poor exit kick from Lachlan Riley. And that change of angles when going by foot, Mitch, really opens up this ground here at Red Rooster Park.
Yeah, there's plenty of space if you can look to come back through the corridor to move that footy pretty quickly. Surprised not a single teammate's led for him here, so they must be pretty confident in his ability to kick this one. Just probably goes the wrong club off the boot. Just scrapes over the line to the far side of the post for a minor.
First score, second term. Short in from the kick in. I elected to go long as opposed to the free short player. Good mark taken. It's Joel Ambek-Cheshire. And his kick up to the wing goes out over the boundary line, and nearly a clean take by one of the Bombers coaching staff. Plenty of rotations today. It's very hot. 28 degrees. Playing a little bit earlier at the 1:30 time slot. Interested to see how players will go in the second half, especially on a big ground. Brown tapped it to himself a couple of times. McKean now on the preferred side for a left footer. Looking for Murray inside forward 50, and it's a lovely kick. Straight on the chest of Ben Murray.
Yeah, clever bit of work there by Lunky Jenkins to open up the space out of that pack. And that, probably the first time today we've really seen Murray within set shot distance.
Well, he's just one-on-one there, and he got away from Lupke. He doesn't look to be all that confident, pointing to a teammate. Runs around, dances around Lupke. Then he has to dance back the other way. Then he had to go short, and his kick bounced up cruelly into a teammate. Murphy, been good today, although that kick is a banana. It's going out towards the boundary line, and in the end, the Hawks do well to force it out over the boundary line.
That's where the pressure starts to build up there. Murray yet to hit the scoreboard and just tries to manufacture a little razzle-dazzle and ends up turning the ball over in what was a little bit of an ambitious distance outside the arc to kick it into that breeze. So it looks like Westerberg back in the ruck for the Hawks.
One-on-ones all around. Well done, Ambek-Cheshire. He's getting himself involved in the game. His kick bounce inside forward 50, though well taken by the Hawks. Dump kick out of defence up to the wing. Max Dillon. Sells Candy. Then goes back in board. Nice hand pass, 1-2. Dillon inside forward 50. It's to space. The Hawks should get there first. Can Polinsky gather cleanly? He can. Puts it out in the path of Poppleton, and he takes a strong mark in his hands. He's got Elton working quite hard for him at half back, and he finds him. So Elton with a couple of moments to consider his options. Puts it over to Overington. Now, is he going to go inboard by hand? No, he's going to ponder his options. Goes off his line, plays on the left footer. Out to half forward, Fabian. Got a teammate wide if he wants to use him, and he does. Barker inside forward 50, although the Bombers have got numbers back, and in the end, flying high, Lyndon McKenzie takes a chest mark. We'll go short to Dillon. Had a couple of touches the last few minutes.
So they've got one out here near side of the ground. Sellers pushed hard. Gets rewarded for his efforts, but it's all Sandgate up the ground. Clever little kick, though. What a great take by McKean. He charges forward. Murray's out the back now. Great defensive spoil there by Livesey. And it's all Sandgate. It's 3-on-1 there, but they've turned it over. Probably just a little bit, put themselves under the pump as it goes back into Murray.
Oh, now did he play on?
No, the umpires paid the mark. Looked a little bit contentious there, but McKean, he's been paid the mark.
Almost an irrational moment. You always got to go back and kick those, especially in a grand final.
So just a bit of rush of blood by Sandgate there. They had 3-on-1 at the contest. Elected just to kick long, put a teammate under pressure. The footy got turned over and went straight back into McKean. As he makes no mistake from point-blank range. He kicks his first, Sandgate second. And we're back to a one-point ball game.
Not quite sure who made the turnover for the Bombers at half forward there, but that was a brilliant bit of individual play.
And again, as we saw that footy come in, all the attention went to Murray. And McKean just sat at the back of the pack and it just fell into his lap.
Well, actually, to be honest, Mitch, the previous entry where they went longer to Murray at the top of the goal square, I thought they probably could have gone short. It can sometimes be a good ploy when you focus your attention so much on one forward that the defence starts to focus on that particular player and you start to draw 2 or 3 defenders, and then it opens up the other forwards to be that option inside forward 50. I think for the Bombers, they'll be really pleased at how well their forward line is moving this quarter. There's a bit more space. There are plenty of leads. Kicks probably could be a little bit better to advantage. Sandgate need to get back on top through their dominance in the midfield. Jaden Brown, cut that hand pass off. And then Ladich inside forward 50. Teammate in front. McCarthy snaps on his right. McKean's around it. 3-on-2 for the Bombers. Although the Hawks do well to get it 15 metres away. They've got numbers around the footy now. Players from both sides. How does the umpire see this? Calls play on. McKean's laying a tackle. Ball spills out. There is Jaden Brown. Looks to go to Riley, Jordan Riley. He's out near the boundary line. Dances around his opponent. He's got Murray in the goal square. Goes a little bit shorter. Free kick, in fact. I think that was Jordan Riley was taken down after the kick, and it's going to be, well, a bit of a gift to the Bombers. They're going to have a set shot directly in front of goal about 20 metres out. I think it's Jake Payne. So Payne gets it, and for the first time today, the Bombers are in front. 3-2-20, 2-3-15. It's just a moment of ill discipline, I think, from the Hawks there, Mitch. There was no need to give away that free kick. Good bit of play by Jordan Riley to, again, keep that chaotic ball alive. And it's probably the second or third time we've seen today where the Bombers have been able to do that. They really challenged the Hawks' defence. Yeah,
just a bit of chaos footy. Moving the ball around, as I said, I think they've been probably sucked into going to a couple of their key posts, and they've just managed to find find a couple of unique goal kickers today. So they've got 3. Certainly the goal scoring end, probably we wouldn't have picked it, but 4 of the 5 have been kicked to that end against the breeze. So maybe sides just taking a little bit for granted, the breeze coming over the shoulders.
I think we've got a 6-6-6 warning against the Bombers. They didn't have their fullback in the goal square. So back underway. Lewis with the rucking duties for the Bombers. Love it. The clearance. Wide inside forward 50. It bounces better for the Bombers. Although by the time they went and had to get it, it was pretty much even. Hand pass to Barker. Flying around at half forward the footy does. Bevan jumps on late, a good tackle. The inclusion for today for the Bombers. Socket out near the boundary line. Set a task for McKean, I think. No. Pan Am. And in the end, the boundary line, the winner. So 11 minutes played in this second term. The Bombers trailed by 6 points at quarter time. Now they lead by 5. Just King just whacks it 10 metres forward. So a slight territorial gain for the Hawks. Just looking around it, pretty even all around the ground. Matchups. No spares being deployed as such. Yeah. Although the Hawks have got 6 forwards inside forward 50. 5, sorry. Just King, the hit out, and then just knocked over an opponent. Love it when he got it, fed out the hand pass. Poppleton was pushed as he's kicked. I don't think you can call that deliberate.
No, Alex Hill's appealing for that one in hope, but no chance. As umpire Knight says, we'll have a boundary throw-in and just a little bit of sting taken out of this game. Sort of the third boundary throw-in now. Not a lot of movement. Players just gathering their breath again as we look to reload. As the ball heads out into the contest, into their corridor now. So dangerous territory for Poppleton. He sends it long. Couple of spares here for Sandgate. Oh, and you can see there the effects of that breeze. Ambitious shot on goal from Johnstone. And that one's gone out on the full.
That was a better entry, though, for the Hawks. Like, they got to attack from a good spot, and maybe on another day with the wind, that kick for Johnstone's better. They've worked the ball out nicely here, the Bombers. Brown through to Bevan. And now they're going to move the ball up to the wing. Max Dillon in a one-on-one from behind. Takes a good overhead mark. Outpointing Jared Marola. Inside forward 50 go the Bombers. Looking for Murray. No one takes it. Lubke at ground level. Had plenty of time and fed a hand pass wide to a teammate, although his kick was smothered. Just King gathers nicely, does the big man. One hand to Sweeney. Has to burrow in and get the football. Was appealing for high. Ladich got the ball, threw it on his boot. And that crazy kick where you kind of need the forwards in front. The Bombers had no one. And through the foot of Stevens, the Hawks clear. Now, this is kind of where they've broken down in this second quarter, just getting the ball from half back to the forward of the ground. Stevens run about 50 metres to hit that kick, then feeds it back to his own teammate. And in fact, he's going to get a 50-metre penalty for the Alex Hills player not standing the mark. So Connor Stevens have come to within just about goal-scoring range.
Yeah, so that breeze will pretty much be right behind the kicker here. In fact, it looks like it's going to go to Jaden Brown. So he takes no time, sends it off quickly. Dangerous spot there. It was Westerberg pinballing around now. So Alex Hills find a spare and managed to get this ball out to the far side. It's 2-on-1 up the ground though for Sandgate. As they've done all day, managed to get a couple to this contest, but a strong tackle there puts them back under pressure. But Sandgate, little junk kick inside, it's been cut off. So Alex Hills now, plenty of numbers lining up through the corridor. They're calling for the footy. They hit one of them. They're open now on this far side if they look to do. Yes, they do. But just a little bit too wide. And looks like it's a foot race, but the ball's going to beat them all.
Oh, I think McKean would like that one again. He probably should have gone shorter to Max Dillon, who's come off for a rest. Asked quite a lot of Zachary Seller, he did there, McKean.
Yeah, as you said, probably just need to go to the shorter target and they might have been away. Nevertheless, though, they've transitioned this footy a long way out of their defensive 50.
Brinktown nearly getting in the way of both ruckmen, which would not have been a wise decision. Overington just flicked a right-handed hand pass like Lockie Neal, though it was cut off by Riley. And then he fed a teammate who kicked poorly, cut off by Noah Polinsky. Had a couple of touches down back today. Overington looks a fair bit like the former Lions player Daniel Rich. Draws a hand pass nicely to McElligott. He'll send a long kick inside forward 50. Fabian's caught from behind. Had the perfect drop. Now it's in the goal square. It's a race back for both teams. Fabian's still around it. Taps it to himself. Flicks a hand pass up to Elton. Oh, there's a free kick going. It's been called back and it's going the way of the Hawks. Fabian's politely asking the umpire to pay the advantage because they kicked the goal. But that's not happening. They'll have to go back and have a shot to retake the lead. I think it will be Fabian.
Not often you see a key forward calling for the advantage to be paid when he's got a chance to kick a goal in the grand final.
I think on days like today, it doesn't matter who kicks a Mitch as long as they kicked. But that was good transition play again from the Hawks. They just started to do it a little bit better the second half of this second quarter.
Yeah, just you're right, those last couple of passages, they've been able to find player and have a better look inside 50. Bit of chaos footy as the ball hit the ground there, though, but as we said, a little bit of a free kick picked out. So Fabian, the captain, comes in now, pulls it to the left. And as we just touched on, he might have been right in wishing the advantage got paid. As the Alex Hills faithful just let him know that it's probably one that he should have kicked. We touched on it earlier, Riley, but there is hundreds and hundreds, if not north of 1,000 people in here at Red Rooster Park this afternoon.
Terrific to see so many people in club colours as well. It's all blue, red, white and green. Yes. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people putting on yellow, blue and maroon tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Get around Brisbane as they take on Carlton at the Gabba at 7:30 this evening.
So what we'd love to see, and it's done well, the community finals being spaced out, so each competition's got its weekend, got a weekend to itself. Today is all about Div 2 North and South footy. Those South Grand finals being played tomorrow, I believe, as the kick up to the wing works nicely to Ben Murray, Amber Chisia. He looks for Murray, gets a good run and jump at it, and juggles the mark. Now they've got options forward quickly, McCarthy and Ladich. Murray goes short to Ladich. Not a great kick, good two-handed spoil. Murray tried to grab it and then flicked the hand pass forward. McKean, the left footer, went and got it. Wrapped up straight away by Asher Livesey in a strong tackle. Murray's gone short a couple of times from that point of the ground where I kind of feel like you probably want to go a little bit deeper inside forward 50, Mitch. Yeah,
they just didn't have anyone coming at the footy. All the forwards are starting to sort of stream back towards goal. So they're a bit sort of out of kilter with Murray and what they want to do in terms of that forward entry is the slap kick's just thrown forward there by Riley. And it's going to roll out of bounds.
And pretty well placed, actually. I don't think that would have been his intended target, but he's gained about 20 metres. So I think this one will be a fairly bit of a shorter quarter than what the first was. We went over 29 minutes. Got the timekeeper in the box with us, and he's showing us 5 minutes. Thanks, Liam.
So Alex Hills is set up pretty well behind this footy now. Plenty of numbers, so Lovett looks to clear and manages to find one. So clever bit of play there to Wagner because it was all Alex Hills up the ground. And with those extra numbers, he's forced just to bomb and send it. So it's 5-on-1. What can Fabian do? Not much.
He does pretty well in the end because it's gone out of bounds. It's definitely not a win for the Hawks, but you call it a draw. The ball's in their half of the ground. They're 2 kicks from home. And it's definitely that rather as opposed to the Bombers getting the ball and marching away with it. The Bombers have got a spare in defence in the hot spot. The Hawks' spare is at the back of this stoppage. Can they use it? Love it. Goes boundary side. Wagner got a goal in the first and then just looks to put a perfect kick inboard. But it's cut off. I think that's Lachlan. No, it's Linton McKenzie.
Here was that spare you spoke of, just sitting back in the hole, reading the flight of it perfectly.
Well done, Lachlan McKean. Just used his body to perfection to take that mark.
Yeah, Westerberg's no easy slouch to push off the footy, so a really clever bit of play there as he sends it along. With plenty of Sandgate players at the flight of this footy. Well, tackle, he's ripped off it. Umpire says play on. Westerberg goes in pretty hard. He'll wrap him up as Dylan throws the ball back to the umpire.
I know there's a bit of wind around, but I'm surprised that we haven't seen the ball on the far side of the ground more this quarter, Mitch, especially from the Hawks, as that's when they've probably been at their best, moving the football. When they use it by foot and they go far side. Love it. It's kind of held by Ladich. Sweeney went in and gave away a free kick. A little bit irresponsible. Advantage is paid, so the Bombers kind of got a free kick and then worked themselves into trouble. Westra, inside forward 50. It's a shallow entry. Murray's dropping back if the Bombers can win this ball. He's got 20 metres of space, although in the end, the Hawks do well to force a stoppage.
Sloppy bit of play there for both sides, but the Bombers have managed to work it forward about 20 or 30 metres, so they're inside 50. Just King just volleyballs that one forward as Lovett lays a strong tackle, as does Wagner. So they're turning up the defensive pressure now, the Hawks. No easy ball for the Bombers inside the contest.
Just King, the hit out. And Sweeney happy to concede it. Let it go out over the boundary line. It's interesting to see how both sides try and work the ball from this part of the ground. We've had a lot of play on this broadcast side today. Toss back into play. Just King. Shark. Oh, great run down tackle, Corey Murphy. Been one of the best for his side today. And Dion Brinkow thought he had a bit more time than he did. Murphy's kick's not the best, although he's worked up to provide a bit of support. Love it. Works in a bit of space.
You talk about moments in grand finals. We talk about the big marks, the big goals, the strong midfield efforts, but it's those 1% chase down, die-hard tackles. They're the things that the coaches and your teammates up and about.
The Bombers have got numbers around this footy. Ambek Cheshire takes his time. Brinkow inside forward 50. The Hawks have got the numbers. Lucas Kent there on hands and knees. Does well, does Westra. He's around this footy, as is McCarthy. Hawks got to be clean and careful. McCarthy nearly tripped. McElligott does well. Now he's got a big kick, pushes his kick. Now Elton, the vice, one of the deputies for the Hawks. Inboard to Overington. Been a little bit quieter in the second term. He's dancing around 1, 2 and 3. And a hand pass, which is as good as a kick to a teammate back. And then he put it up into the middle of the ground. Chardon had to sit under it. Tough ask. The Bombers now with a moment to compose. Players almost out on their feet. It is hot today, and this grand finals asked a lot of both sides. That kick is a check side and almost done blindly. Kent all the time in the world to sit under it and take an easy mark. As we enter the last 2 minutes of this second quarter. Kick up onto the ground, up the ground. Spoiled in the end, and even though Max Dillon had the footy, it's a stoppage. Side's probably just breaking down a little bit when they go inside forward 50, I feel it at the moment. Mitch, it's probably that centre to half forward sort of quadrant of the ground, as you might say, is where those breakdowns are occurring.
Yeah, we're just sort of, we're almost wanting someone to break the game open at the moment. We're still stuck in a deadlock. Just the 2 goals, kicked this quarter. It's been a tight affair, and there's just still 4 points in it. 2-4-16 leads. Sandgate trailed the Bombers 3-2-20. It's been very low scoring.
And even the scoring shots, we've only had 11 so far. Love it. Can he clear the ball? Sandgate jump on, ball spills out. Umpire's going to pay a free kick to hold, going the way of the Bombers. So they'll get the footy at half back. Yeah, 2 quarters of footy and 11 scoring shots. It's not something you see every day, especially in just gorgeous conditions like we've got today here at Red Rooster Park. As we enter the final minute of this opening half here. Dion Brinkow. Just backwards of the wing. And he'll go short again. And no real rush. Lundy Jenkins. A couple of key physical moments from him today, laying a few strong tackles up the half forward, looking for Murray. And to come from behind to affect the spoil on Just King. Keep the ball alive, Polinsky, for the Hawks over the head of Lovett. Had a really good second quarter. Murphy's around the ball. Catlow Elliott, hand pass to a teammate. And taken over the boundary line. So probably time for one clean takeaway for either side, Mitch.
Yeah, we just talked about the low scoring shots at the moment. Just having a look back through the history books to the last year's grand final, Alex Hill's obviously the premiers in 2023. 7-7-49, they defeated Kenmore. 5-10-40.
I think they broke it open in the third quarter as well, if my memory serves me correctly. The Bombers did.
So not a. I don't think we're destined for a shootout here late in the game. It's going to be hot contested footy, stoppage to stoppage, and it's probably just going to take 1 or 2 goals from key personnel to really break this game open as Fabian flies hard.
Siren beats them all. It's half-time in the Alpha Sport QFA Division 2 North Senior Grand Final between the Sandgate Hawks and the Alex Hills Bombers. Sandgate 2-4-16, not kicking a goal that quarter. Trail Alex Hills 3-2-20. The goal kickers for the Bombers, singles to Jake Payne, Zachary Seller and Lachlan McKean. For the Hawks, same as in the first quarter, Wagner and Johnstone. We're going to take a break for half-time. We've got about 10 minutes, so take a break and join us for second half action. Welcome back to YouTube AFLQ channel here at Red Rooster Park. Thanks to our production partners in Double Take Sports. Half-time of the QFA Division 2 North Alpha Sport Senior Premiership Grand Final between the Sandgate Hawks and the Alex Hills Bombers, sorry. Just the 2 goals in the second term, both going the way of the Bombers. They currently lead by 4 points. Mitch Simpson, my co-commentator, there's a reason they call it the Premiership Quarter, the third quarter. And I think we're about to see why in the next 25 minutes or so.
Well, we're just begging that one of the two here breaks it open a bit. It was a very contested, chaotic, stale's probably the wrong word because the footy was up, but we're just wanting something to happen in this third quarter now. I think both sides have got the ability to do it. They've obviously been the Premier 2 sides all year. There's a huge crowd in, just willing both teams on. I've just gone through a bit of a walk around the ground at half-time, and the amount of Sandgate and Alex Hills paraphernalia in the crowd is outstanding, and certainly a big credit to both footy clubs and the culture they've built as their clubs are on show here today on the Premier Day of the year.
Full credit to the ground DJ. Might be Chris Rabs Ryan, the king of football in Queensland. I think he's picked the perfect tune to get everyone amped up as players make their way out into the positions for the start of this third term. The breeze, I think you were down there at ground level at half-time, Mitch, just favouring right of screen at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit blustery, but certainly blowing strongly to the right-hand side. So expect Alex Hills to have it blowing to their backs at the moment, but Overington is the one that gets the first clearance of the third term. Heads forward, but Alex Hills managed to mop up here. So they get a couple loose if they manage to get it out wide, and they do. An ugly bounce, though, however, as the ball now is picked up and rolling forward. In fact, not picked up, just continues to be pushed out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. But Overington there getting his first hands on the footy. He's certainly got to be one. Had a great first quarter, went a little bit missing in term 2. And the likes of him love it. Will certainly be the ones wanting to get around Just King in the ruck and ignite something for the Hawks here.
So Just King's the head out in the path of Lovett. Couldn't gather cleanly. McKean pinched the ball and then put it on his boot. Went about 45 metres, courtesy of the wind as well. And in the end, just trickled over the boundary line.
McKean's another one for the Bombers that started to get himself moving a little bit towards the tail end of that second quarter.
He's had a couple of goes up, a couple of shots on goal, and he's spent a bit of time around the midfield. He's probably the best user for the Bombers going inside forward 50, where Overington's probably been that player for the Hawks. Might be a bit harsh to say, but I think both sides probably need to be a bit better by foot. Their disposal efficiency just breaking down at times. Like even at the start of this quarter, we saw a kick out wide from the Bombers. Missed a target that they probably need to be hitting in grand finals. That wind affecting that throw when Just King tried to go to Lovett. Found the boundary line instead. And I know in grand finals the pressure is at 10 to 15, 20% even higher, but whichever side can compose themselves and use the ball better, especially on this wide ground. We mentioned it how many times today.
Yeah, I think we're certainly in for a low-scoring affair. I can't imagine either side's going to really blow this one open, which is going to make it really critical to hit the scoreboard when the opportunity presents, as Lovett just gets a little squeeze kick out there. They start appealing for the deliberate out of bounds before the ball had even gone out. A dangerous spot to turn it over in here, though, however, as Chardon has that one charged down. Clever bit of clean-up work there, however, as Brown has a bounce, streams through the centre of Red Rooster Park and spots up a teammate up forward. This is better movement now for the Bombers, but they've just turned it over, that kick that we've continually talked about, letting themselves down, heading into forward 50. But it's been cleaned up now, and Sandgate will get out of trouble, but only as far as Packer. He sends it wide, can't quite find a target, and the ball wanted to stay in, but just trickles out of bounds. So really nice bit of play there by Alex Hills. The run, the bounce, the carry through the centre of the ground, found a target, and just let down. Probably just a bit of rush of blood. Moving the footy into that forward 52 quickly and turning it over, Riley.
It's probably a kick where he tried to be perfect, where he didn't need to be, just needed to put it out in front because Murray was leading to the perfect spot. But that's what pressure does in grand finals. 3 minutes played, third quarter, no score yet. Payne coming forward to the footy, can't gather cleanly, tries to step back in the field of play. Just King takes him out. Almost back to what it was like in the first quarter, where we had a lot of boundary throw-ins, particularly on both forward flanks, broadcast side. Just looking around, the Bombers have got a spare inboard, probably about 50 metres off the stoppage. And then I think Sandgate's spare at the moment is Matthew Chardon at the back of this throw-in. Juffs, King and Payne, as they've done all day. No one got a hand to it. That wind again affecting the ball. Amber just here for the Bombers. Ground level, Payne. Pocket picked, love it, tackled, ball up. It's about 60 out from the Bombers' goal. They've got 3 inside, forward 50. Lubke's got the matchup on Murray. Wagner is around it. McKean throws a fist at it. Murphy got around a tackler, then dropped the footy, and he jumped on it. Or maybe jumped on his opponent. Might have been the 2 number 9s, in fact.
The first 4 minutes, much of the same in the first quarter. Just contest to contest.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which side can break the play open a bit. Lovett gets a free kick for a hold. Also means that we're probably set for a long quarter already. I'm just having a peek at the time. We've had more time off than actual play in this quarter already. Lovett immediately to Sweeney. One of the vice captains for the Hawks. Up to half forward. The Bombers are set under it. Fabian tried to impact the contest, but might have got Catlow Elliott on the ear slightly. His kick poked a Packer. Moved very quickly to almost placed in between 2. Mark dropped by Jaden Brown out over the boundary line. So no score yet, and this low-scoring, tightly contested grand final. Lachlan O'Hara has a bit of a spare here for the Hawks. He's on the move at this stoppage. Just King had 2 goes at it, hit it forward, but the Bombers with the clearance. It's trickling around half forward. I wonder what the odds are. It goes out of bounds. Not surprising in the end. Just a real stalemate at the moment. Played between the 2 half-forward arcs. Broadcast side for both teams. Who's going to break this game open? Sandgate have dominated the ruck, courtesy of Juffs King for the most part. Westerberg has been good when he's gone in. Payne is undersized. Did get a goal earlier in the second. He's trying to dance around Juffs King, and he did, but he got the ball and then had a big fresh airy. Hand pass forward for the Bombers. John Stone's around it for the Hawks. Kicked the first goal of the game. And he's laying an effective tackle that time. You can see the Bombers have still got a spare back in defence. And the Hawks just willing to use that spare at the back of the stoppage. They've got 5 inside forward 50 at the moment, the Bombers. Maybe they want to free that forward line up a bit. Juffs King kick doesn't go very far. Tried to barge through there, Seller did. John Stone for the Hawks. Tapped in the path of Marola. And then he posed himself to put a kick in the path of a teammate. And in the end, he was taken out over that boundary line, Mitch.
Well, it's just, I don't want to feel like we're repeating ourselves here, but we're just willing someone to take it on, break it open. We're just sort of bouncing between contest to contest, and no one's really able to assert the dominance. We've had 7 minutes of play in this third term.
It reminds me of the QFAW Division 1 Grand Final we had last year, which Sandgate featured. That was a cracking game, and that last quarter was just played on Sherwood's half-forward flank.
Yeah, that's right. Similar size oval dimensions. It's a long way to home. But again, just tackling pressure here from both sides, making it really difficult to move. One-on-one's up the ground again. The kick out gets out to Baker. So he kicks long. One-on-one's up the ground again. In fact, it turned into a bit of a 3-on-1 Alex Hill's way, and Sandgate have managed to get out. So Overington just skies the footy. Bit of a hit and hope. Dylan gets the ball, but only as far as Poppleton. He hand passes it over, and there's a loose there. Finally, we've got a bit of clean air. And Marola, I think it is on that far side, has taken the mark, and we're going to have our first real shot on goal 8 minutes into this third term.
Amazing how once we get on that far side of the field, play just opens up. It was a pretty good effort from Max Dillon. He had 2 Hawks players to beat, and his spoil was great, but in the end, they just had the numbers of the Hawks and a good bit of composure to steady. As the shot on goal goes all the way to the line. Marola's kicked it. First goal of the third term going the way of the Hawks. They're back in front. 3-4-22, 3-2-20. And going into the wind, even though that's where almost all the goals have been scored today, that's a quality kick from Jared Marola.
Yeah, and if we just take a couple of plays back, it was Overington the one that managed to get out ahead of that contest, break it open, albeit a bit of an interesting kick into the
into the middle of the 50 almost,
yeah,
but it's just into a bit of space.
Well, it created something. It was dangerous. Nearly had the ball turned over, and Alex could have been out the other side, but it created something, and Sandgate are back in the lead.
Bit of high-risk football at times, but with risk comes reward. I was also impressed with Sweeney's kick up here against the boundary line. He's been very poised today as we go back in the middle. Overington feeds the goal scorer in Marola. He feeds a Murphy running off half-back. His kick didn't go very far. Great one-hand collect by Catlow Elliott. Inside forward 50 go the Bombers. Numbers around the football, and you feel this game's just changed. McKean gathers it. Hand pass out to Riley. McCarthy feeds a hand pass out over the top, although it's not a hand pass. In fact, it's a throw. So the Hawks will get the free kick, courtesy of Ben McElligott. Good bit of desperation by the men in red and green. McElligott plays on. That long kick of his to the far side. It holds up and is affected by the wind, and a strong mark. I think that's Lundy Jenkins. It's about 80 from home. Plays on. Kick nearly smothered. Looking for Murray. In a bit of space. Going back. Drops the mark. McCarthy there for the Bombers. Players from both sides diving on it. We've got a free kick going the way of the Bombers. A high tackle. Is that McKean? Yes, it is. Now, he missed one from here earlier in the day. Perhaps he was a little bit... the angle was a bit better for him. Left footer, although you think this kick would just have to go straight, or maybe just inside the left goal post, Mitch, and it would go through. Yeah,
the breeze should pretty much be coming just straight over his... pretty much straight over his back, sort of from that far side of the oval to the right of screen.
So Lachlan McKean has kicked one today. The left footer on his approach. Methodical. Goal umpire does not move. Bombers back in front. Just with the play being on the far side of the field and just a bit of quicker ball movement. And the Bombers have been really good today when there's been that chaos ball inside their forward 50, and they've earned it, or McKean's earned a free kick. Gone back and converted. And with that, giving his side back the lead.
Well, after 8 minutes of deadlock, we've had 2 in 2. And you just start to sense that there might be a little bit of space opening up now on this ground.
Tired legs as well. Players, contested footy really saps the energy out of you. The half-backers, I think, for both sides, Dillon for the Bombers and Murphy for the Hawks, going to be really important, the run and the bounce that they can give their teams. Westerberg in the ruck. His hit out is Shark, although his teammates are there to make sure that the footy goes nowhere.
So 11 and a half minutes gone, 4 points the margin. We're setting ourselves up for a grandstand finish to this game. It's going to be played tight all afternoon, you would expect.
Poppleton around the football. Gathered and taken it down in a tackle straight away. Umpire says play on. The Bombers have got the numbers. Hand pass flicked out in the path for the Bombers. They go inside forward 50. Murray's going to run and jump at this. Can't take the mark. McElligott, good defensive pressure applied with the spoil. Ball at ground level. Hawks with the numbers. Hand pass fed out by Livesey. Now they're at half back. Pushed as he kicked. And in the end cut off. So the Bombers on centre wing. Runs around and plays on. Up to half forward. Pains around it. Murray. No mark. Poppleton. Stripped of the footy. Knocked out near the boundary line. Kept in. Abakashia grabs it, and eventually the boundary line wins. So Rarity will have a ball in, but on the far side of the field, the top of the 50 for the Bombers. Just starting to sense the flow of this game might have changed in the last 3 or 4 minutes. And 8 or 9 minutes worth of boundary throw-ins and stoppages, and 2 quick goals, one to either side. Well done by Westerberg, the hit out, and then a hand pass thrown forward by the Hawks. Cut off by the Bombers inside forward 50. It's going to get out the back of Murray. Not going to take the mark. There's Payne. Gathered, snap on, goal! He's got it! That's a brilliant rove or crumbing goal. Call it whatever you want. The Bombers get out to their biggest lead of the day. Not quite sure of the goal kicker, but that was just textbook forward craft. And the finish was just as good as the crumb.
Yeah, outstanding bit of work there. He came and hit that packet pace, reading it beautifully off the front, and it was an outstanding finish on the snap.
I think it was McCarthy, number 19. I'm sure the Bombers bench should probably know better than us, but just getting the official nod from the timekeeper. Thanks, Liam. Bit hard to see at times when we're going just off our eyes and no replay cameras or no replays. So the Bombers with their biggest lead of the day, 10 points. The Hawks need to get the next one. They win the clearance and they go inside forward 50. Bouncing around. The Bombers will clear and then off about 2 steps. Sends it up to, well, it was a free player, but the Hawks had the numbers. They come across to intercept. The Bombers level up. It's fighting out near the boundary line. And in the end, I think everyone's happy to have a ball up. Funny how the game has changed, Mitch, since we've seen play on the far side of the field. It just seems to open up and allow for quicker ball movement as opposed to being trapped on this side, especially with the wind kind of favouring this boundary line.
Yeah, well, I think what it allows them to do, if you're at that side, if you do get a break, you can move with the footy quickly. When it's stuck on this side, the ability to move the ball, particularly to the left of screen for Sandgate, has become so slow, kicking into that breeze. As we see, Lovett just get one out the back here now. So a couple of hand passes here. They look to run it out rather than kick long. So Sandgate now with the opportunity to head inside 50, and they do, but it's cut off there, well read by Panam. So he comes back through the corridor. So here we go. They've bitten that one off, and it's a great kick. Here we go. Alex Hills now, the opportunity. That's just a bit of an up and under. Murray has the fly, the footy. And takes a strong grab.
He had no right to take that mark.
He went arms up, arms down, took it on the chest, rolled over the top. And all of a sudden, Alex have gone bang, bang, 2 kicks. Bite the one off in the middle of the ground that can be risky, but we've been calling for that. We need a few chances to be taken. And Alex might just get the ability here to extend to the biggest lead of the day. It's a great kick off the boot. Has it been touched? Looks like it has. The 6'6" Just King there getting some hands on the footy on the last line.
So McElligott quickly from the kick in to Stevens. He'll go back to the man who gave him the ball. Are they going to get themselves out of this, the Hawks? You think they need the next one because all the momentum at the moment with the Bombers. He looks for Just King. Mark not taken. Sweeney to Crum. Now Fabian in a bit of space, although he's a long way from home. He's got plenty of teammates. He's got about 5 teammates forward. Elects to go the long hand pass to Marola. Inside forward 50, top of the goal square. They've got numbers here. And the mark to Westerberg. Great transition. A good forward gut running by the Hawks. When Fabian marked the ball here about 80 from home, especially going into the wind, it's tough, but he had teammates working hard for him, and it was almost a risk to go with the long hand pass, Mitch, but it more than paid off.
Yeah, it just proves how quickly you can move the footy. We've sort of said how slow it's been going this quarter. And both sides now just opening up a little bit, which you'd expect to see with a bit of fatigue starting to set in, a bit more space. And I think as both coaching groups will give each side a bit of a licence to take the game on. This is the final game of the year. There can't be anything left in the tank as Westerberg makes light work of that one, pops his first one over for the day, and we peg the margin back under a goal.
Thomas Overington just making his way back onto the field, straight into the midfield. So very handy inclusion now for the Hawks midfield after he's had a rest. There's still plenty of time left in this third quarter. We had 5 goals to half-time for the match, and by my count, we've had 4 this quarter alone. So it's definitely starting to open up here at Red Rooster Park. I think we'll probably, even with that bit of play, it's just the skills from both sides starting to be a bit more effective, finding targets. The umpire throws it up. Just King, love it, bursting through. Hand pass to O'Hara. Puts it back into the middle. Overington, the man who just came back onto the ground. His hand pass was a turnover. And then Dillon just had forever and a day to feed a hand pass. Eventually did. That was a throw. No, that is no way a legitimate hand pass. Well adjudicated by the umpire. So free kick going to Murphy. He's got options wide. That one's really working hard. The Bombers got to spare this broadcast side. And in fact, that's almost where he goes. Chardon dropped the mark. Knocked out in the path of Pan Am. Packer. Cadlow Elliott caught, holding the ball. Great tackle by Barker. They go quickly. Overington, left foot kick smothered. He'll have to provide a second effort. Hand pass knocked on forward. Chardon dances back inboard. Chardon now again with the football, though, up against the boundary line. Between him and Luke Barker, they couldn't get that ball inside forward 50, and the Bombers will have it as we see. I think that's Cadlow Elliott coming to the bench for the Bombers. Not exactly sure what happened to him, but he seems to be in a fair amount of pain.
Yeah, I think it might have been that heavy contest with Fabian just a couple of plays ago. The Sandgate captain asserting a bit of physicality about this game.
It's definitely gone up in the kitchen a bit, a few degrees. Overington, left foot kick, should find Barker, stands under it, takes the mark.
So Sandgate got one loose at the top of the 50. That's where they go. Clever bit of vision there. Wagner takes the ball dead centre, about 35 from goal. And a great bit of vision there.
He's had a good couple of minutes, Luke Barker. He's coming to the bench. Got the headband on, the number 20. And you can see even the impact that Overington's had since he's come on in 2 or 3 minutes, Mitch.
Yeah, just a couple of key possessions out the front of the contest as Wagner kicks that one. Not a convincing kick. I thought it might have held on, but it's hit the post. So the margin out to an even 1-goal margin.
So Lachlan Riley with the kick-in duties. 20 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter, although I'm looking at the time. Still got plenty of time to go. Kick is stabbed in nicely. And Bakshia definitely said his name wrong plenty of times today. Good vision, good kick. Lundy Jenkins. He's going to go long to a 3-on-3, although the kick kind of falls short. McElligott takes off. Got to be careful. Gets it away. Nice kick. Opens up the ground. Now, Joyce wheels around on his right foot. Nearly came off, but it didn't quite work. Lachlan Riley with the football. Feeds a hand pass. And Bakshia. Max Dillon. Liked his game today off half back. Asks a lot of Bevan. One of the only inclusion for the Bombers. Feeds a teammate with the hand pass. He might get it back again. His teammate wheels inboard. Ladich. Been around the Bombers, was part of their premiership team last year. He wheels and goes looking for Murray, and he takes it. Great vision, great kick, great grab. Simon Ladich and Ben Murray. And they need this goal, the Bombers, even though they lead by 4. Murray hasn't kicked one today. He's had an opportunity in this third quarter. It's not in a bad spot, not in the worst pocket for a right footer. The wind will help him. He's kicked 80 goals thus far this year, but none today as of yet. Ben Murray in the pocket. I tell you what, that is a brilliant kick. Ben Murray. And just when they needed a goal, he steps up with a contested grab and a great finish. Bombers back out by 10 points. That was brilliant transition play. Or just brilliant ball movement, Mitch, from the Bombers from half back.
Yeah, probably started with the ball movement of Dillon. You've called his name a couple of times throughout the day. He's certainly been one of the more dangerous in the midfield for the Bombers.
You know, they say you normally can't trust people with 2 first names, but I tell you what, you can trust this bloke with ball in hand. Superb user, and he's had a couple of really important defensive efforts as well. A couple of big spoils and tackles he's had to lay. He's there in the back 6 for the Bombers. That throw-up didn't have a heap of height, but it didn't stop Juffs King from feeding it straight to Lovett. Although he was closely guarded and in the end taken down in a tackle. So the margin 10 points. The Bombers have kicked 3 goals this quarter. Going to the end where there haven't been many goals thus far. They've normally been kicked left of screen. McElligott nearly took a strong grab, spoiled at the last minute. Murphy around it for the Hawks. Feeds the hand pass back nicely to Kent. To Poppleton. And then a good kick out in the path of O'Hara. Sorry, Charlton. Pressed up against the boundary line, the left footer. Oh, Dillon comes across, takes a strong intercept mark. Just got off his opponent. The kick to Westerberg wasn't really to his advantage. So Dillon's just going to go long down the line here. Plenty of players from both sides. Bombers will be happy the mark wasn't taken by Joss King. McKean on hands and knees. Ladich around it to Bevan. And then it went to Sella, who kicked the first goal for the Bombers today, although his kick really had no one's name on it. Livesey cuts across, takes the mark. Nowhere to go, though. So he's just got to go to Joss King down the line. And in the end, it's juggled, and the umpire is paying a mark. He moves the ball quickly. The Bombers have got numbers back in defence. Wagner feeds Sweeney, they'll be fumbled at the crucial moment. Hand pass through. Well done breaking the lines, Pan Am. Kick is on the bounce. Ladich gets the fend off. Umpire says holding the ball. Ladich will probably argue he got a hand pass to that, but pretty happy with that call, Mitch.
Yeah, strong bit of defensive work there again from Murphy. He's really stood up and been applying a heap of pressure across that sort of centre half back kind of area. He's been pretty deadly, although he's just managed to put his teammates under a bit of pressure there, and in fact has turned it over. So not good execution by foot, with a high free kick picked up, and it's going to go the way of Westra.
Not had the best minute or two, unfortunately, for Harry Sweeney. Couple of fumbles and giving away the free kick. Ball with Bevan now. So the Hawks would not want to concede another goal before three-quarter time. We don't have too long to go. They will be going with the wind in the last quarter, the Hawks. So they do trail by 10 points. They've only kicked 4 goals so far today. So Dillon had an impactful last few minutes. Concedes a fair bit of territory to go back to Jaden Brown, who goes across. Now they've got one for the switch here. Norris's kick. Had a bounce straight away, Joshua Brown did. Almost ran himself into trouble. Then he puts it out. And Lundy Jenkins worked very hard and took a nice diving mark. Doesn't have a lot to go to. Just goes to the top of the 50 near the boundary line. McKean at ground level. Bumped off it. They keep the ball alive for just a moment, the Bombers do, before it goes out over the boundary line. So, Mitch, we call it the Premiership quarter, and it's fair to say the Bombers have had the better of it, but I don't think this game's over by any stretch of the imagination.
No, there's been flurries of the play today where we've seen some goals can be kicked. So I think given the opportunity, there's a 10-point margin is certainly nowhere near enough for Alex Hills to see out this game with. So they'll need to hit the scoreboard a couple of times, I'd say, still this game if they're to hold the Sandgate Hawks at bay. But as we tick through to nearly 27 minutes gone, there can't be long left on the clock at all. And in fact, there goes the siren. It's all on the line here to play for in the fourth quarter. 3-quarter time in the QFA Division 2 North Alpha Sport Premiership Grand Final. The Alex Hills Bombers 6-3-39 taking a 10-point lead over Sandgate 4-5-29. It is 3-quarter time. We will be back with the all-important Grand Final fourth term. Enjoy the break. Stick with us, and we'll see you on the other side of the break shortly.
Welcome back to Red Rooster Park. Thanks to our production partners in Double Take Sports. We're just about ready for the final quarter of the QFA Division 2 North Alpha Sport Premiership Grand Final here. The Bombers, courtesy of a couple of goals now to Lachlan McKean, lead by 10 points. Big huddles for both sides. Probably the Hawks definitely with more numbers though. And as they broke away, there was a big cheer from their spectators urging them on. A quick round the grounds in the Quaffle. We've got preliminary final action day today. Last year's grand finalists, Aspley Hornets, facing off against the Redland Victoria Point Sharks, and it's Aspley by 2 points. Bit of a wasteful 4-12-36 playing Redland Victoria Point 5-4-34. We've just about got all the spectators off the field. We've got Mitch Simpson back in the commentary box. Mitch, we could be set for an all-time classic finish here.
Yeah, so I think it's you can certainly see how much it means to both groups. There were hundreds on ground there, huge support in, and what a treat they're in for. 10 points the margin as the ball goes forward by Sandgate, but chopped off there at half back. So Alex Hills, do they have the ability to go back to back in 24? There's plenty of medals hung around the necks of their reserves in the crowd after they defeated Sandgate just a couple of hours ago in the reserves game.
So McKean's kick kind of caught in between two players. Went straight to the Sandgate coach's box. Out for a throw in.
So each quarter we've seen a fair arm wrestle before the first points have been scored. I suspect that if we see Alex Hills get one early here, they'll be very confident running with their tails up. But there is a very stiff breeze still out there heading to the right of screen favouring Sandgate. So if they've got the ability to hit the scoreboard early, they may get a little bit of momentum and be spurred on by that breeze heading towards goal. But a couple of repeat stoppages here, as has been the trend all afternoon.
Josh King works around to get the hit out. Love it. Get the footy wrapped up. Oh, takes him to ground. Does he love it with Westra? Oh, a little bit on. Emergency umpire running out on the field. Umpires do well to toss the ball straight back up. Josh King hit out. Sharked by Dylan. Had a pretty strong finish to the third quarter. Mark dropped by Alex Packer. Bombers now going back with the hand pass. McKean. Panham. Wheels around in the middle of the ground. Good vision. Oh, now it's Panham, sorry. That was Jordan Riley, Alex Packer who kicked it to him. Zachary Selleck, the first goal of the game for the Bombers. Up to half forward. Strong mark on the chest. Lyndon McKenzie. Consider his options, about 60 from home. Where's Murray? Kicked in short. Murphy. Chardon. Just a dump kick, really. Fabian a chance here. Taps it, both players stay on their feet. Race out towards the boundary line. Fabian gathers, tries to take it on, almost threw it to himself. Umpire says holding the ball. He's not going to be too happy with that, Fabian.
No, well umpired. He was doing nothing there but heading that ball out over the boundary line.
So Packer's got the ball. I think it's going to come back to Dylan Norrish. Done a pretty good job on Aaron Fabian. I think he's had the match up for today. Get the Fabian to just the one behind at the moment. Norrish doing such a good job of being so friendly. Gives the ball to Packer now, 15 metres. He's got someone leading for him. That was ignored. Popped over the top. Lundy Jenkins. Played his role quite well today. Careful kicking approach. Just King. Couldn't get the mark. He was outbodied well. McKean left footer. Inside forward 50. Murray from behind. Lubke does well. McElligott grabs it. Knocked out. Lubke. Good vision, although the kick went over the top of Marola. Salah got there first. Marola won the day, though. Hand pass to Overington. Be in contention for best on ground. Back to Marola. And a brilliant kick in board. Mark dropped. An easy mark as well. Crowds wanting a free kick. Umpires paying one to Darcy Johnstone. So he's right in the middle of the ground here at Red Rooster Park. Can Sweeney hold this? Because he dropped a couple late in the third. He can. One of the vice captains runs around on his right foot. Looking for Westerberger. Does it get there? No, it doesn't. Just bounces in front of him and then out over the boundary line. So inside forward 50 now, Sandgate. Best chance they've had this quarter so far. They need the first goal. They absolutely need the first goal. I think in the context of this match so far, Mitch, we've only had the 10 goals kicked. You know, the Bombers get 2. That puts them out by 4 goals. That's going to be a very tough margin to get back.
And as we know, sometimes the grand finals can be long, but also that final term can escape you pretty quickly if you've got a margin to chase. So the 10 points, they're going to have to get one on the board pretty much out of this contest, you think, to get them a little bit of momentum. As we tick through almost 5 minutes.
I think they've got to get the first one. Because it's only 2 goals. You can kick 2 goals in 2 or 3 minutes, but I think it's going to be really tricky in the context of the day coming from 3 goals down. Fabian, I think that's... not Fabian. Lovett grabbed the footy, and for the 3rd time this quarter was wrapped up straight away. John Stone might be the one to watch here for the Hawks. Great hit out from Luff's King Barker. Strong finish to the 3rd quarter. Wheels around on his left foot. Kick was smothered. Hand passed out to John Stone. Goes back. Throws it on his foot. And it's just going to bounce in a dangerous spot for the Bombers. Hand pass back now. They'll have a shot on goal, the Hawks. The right foot snap from about 30 out was to the left. Minus score. So opening score this final quarter reduces the margin to 9 points. But Sandgate will be pleased. The ball's trapped in their forward 50. Still quite warm out there, 26 degrees. Just a really pleasant day for football. Kick into Seller. Back to Lachlan Riley. And he'll give it to Seller, who's worked about 30 metres to get this football. Now he puts it out in the path of Dillon, and he can get the footy and go. And he beats his opponent, and he has one bounce, Max Dillon. In border to Laddick. Dances around a would-be tackler. Sends it up to the top of the 50. Dangerous place to turn the ball over. The Bombers can't gather cleanly, so O'Hara cuts it off. And then looks for Lovett. Twice he went at the footy, couldn't take the mark. Well done by Livesey. Out to Marola, who has been pretty good since quarter time. Best on ground the last time these two teams played, which was the semi-final a couple of weeks ago. It was 3 points the difference.
Good bit of play by Dillon there. I think we talked about the big ground, the ability to just run out of a pack, take a bounce with confidence, and just gain an extra 20 or 30 before you take a kick is pretty critical to march yourself up the ground here, rather than just those sort of junk kicks that we've seen throughout the day that have been turned over pretty quickly. Unfortunately not to the advantage in the end, but regardless, that's the kind of stuff that Dillon's going to have to keep leading his group with today. As Lovett gets a quick kick in, under pressure. There's a 3-on-2 here, the favour of the Hawks, but there's one out the back. Westerberg throws on the left foot and he kicks it. 3-on-2, the luck of the bounce falls away of the Hawks. And big Westerberg.
The all-important first goal of the final term. I'll tell you what, though, Westerberg might have kicked it, but Luke Barker, again, just so dangerous in the forward line. Since half-time, I think he's been one of the best players on the ground. He's just dangerous and efficient every time he's got the ball in hand, and he's created that goal, as you said, Mitch, out of an outnumbered. There was a 2-on-3. He just kept his head, and his hand pass was good, and Westerberg did what he had to do. And we can again see the ball on the far side of the field. For whatever the reason, it's just allowing teams to have more attacking opportunities. The margin's back to 3 points.
It may not be high scoring, but one thing's for sure, we are going to have an exciting finish here. And it's what the crowd want. You can start to hear them rising after that goal. The heavy Sandgate faithful are just starting to find their voice as the free kick's paid now. So here's a little bit of a momentum switch as we have a player injured, just taking his breath in the centre of the ground. It's going to be with Overington. Certainly one that Sandgate loves to have the ball in the hands of. So Alex Hills have dropped a couple back. They've got 2 spare deep 50. So if they go long, it may be cut off. But Overington elects to go out wide. Still got a couple spare.
He's got Stevens in board if he wants to use him. That option's passed. So just to the hot spot. Fabian, all the time in the world to run and jump through his hands in the back of an opponent. Knocked forward now. Bombers will get there first. Can they be clean? Poppleton, a strong tackle. The Hawks crowd wants holding the ball. How does the umpire see this? I tell you what, I think it's going to be holding the ball. And the green and red faithful here at Red Rooster Park, very pleased with that decision. Great tackle from Jarvis Poppleton. He's got the chance to put his side in front in the last quarter of a grand final. The wind might make things a little bit tricky. You can see some teardrop banners there blowing. It's going to be left to right, so I would say probably just outside the left goalpost here, Mitch. Poppleton, the left footer.
It's exactly where he starts it. Look at that. Never looked like missing. Poppleton puts the Hawks in front. And you can hear the red and green army. And look at him get around him. That is important. We spoke about how crucial the first goal of this term was going to be. But to hit the first two of the quarter and hit the lead, the Hawks are up and about.
And what's worked so well for Alex Hills at times, that chaotic forward ball is now working for the Hawks. Good bit of pressure applied, and they've kicked 2 goals in about 2 minutes. And it's just completely changed how this game is looking at the moment. We definitely have had nowhere near as many stoppages as I think we had in the first 3 quarters at the start.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think the big ground, hot day, tired bodies of this grand final contest. I think we're going to start to see it open up a little bit now as people start to drop off. Just King with a big tap, but well read there. Big, solid contest.
In fact, I think we're going to see a downfield free kick paved the way of the Bombers. Lovett got Ladich late. Inside forward 50, the Bombers go. Orbit Chasseur can't take the mark. They're fighting it out at ground level, both sides. Sweeney for the Hawks. Nice hand pass out wide. Marola, been really good since quarter time. To Overington. To Murphy. He just went the two-handed fist in the path of Sweeney. He'll gather. His last quarter's been good. Marola again. He's just loving that far side of the ground. Up to Fabian. Norris does well to come across an impact. Long, loopy hand pass to Lovett. Can't take it cleanly. Lovett from 45. Snaps on goal. Will Lovett. He's kicked it. What a goal. At the most important of times, his teammates mob him. And Sandgate have almost come from nowhere, Mitch. They lead by 9 points.
Wowee. Weren't they pumped about that one? And here he comes to the bench. Watch the reception here for Lovett. The Sandgate faithful showing plenty of appreciation for that one.
I feel like it's been an almost sort of day for him. He's been around the stoppages so many times. He gets his hands on the footy first, but he just hasn't had the opportunity to burst through and really kind of use the ball. And even then, that hand pass from Fabian maybe wasn't the best. It spent a lot of time in the air, and he even fumbled it. But the finish from 40-45 on the snap, that's always difficult to pull off, and he played it to perfection. So 9 points the margin now in favour of the Hawks, and they have got all of the momentum. O'Hara now needs to go and win this football. Ladich for the Bombers to McKean. Not McKean, Lundy Jenkins, sorry. Inside forward 50, the Bombers go. Great spoil by McElligott. McCarthy lost his feet at the crucial moment, then he had to go back and lay a tackle. Ball spilled out. Hand pass over the top, McElligott to Stevens. Left footer up this broadcast wing. Johnston from behind turned his body nicely. Wagner kicked the goal earlier, fed it to Johnstone. All the momentum with the Hawks. Crucial fumble from Westerberg. Hand pass now to Chardon. The Hawks faithful starting to lift in voice. Kick inside forward 50. Josh King can't take the mark. One-on-one racing out towards the goal square. It's near the boundary line. Bombers be happy for it to go out. Has a bounce at a crucial time. Hawks one holding the ball, not coming. Dances around one. I wonder if that might have been holding the ball. We'll have to go back maybe in a moment, Mitch, and get your thoughts. The Bombers now looking to move the ball. Ladich. He's got Mbekashizia. He drops the mark. He was pushed and gathered cleanly. Just threw it blindly on his boot. Murray's got front position. Can't take the mark. Diving for it. McElligott fumbled. Has to go and knock it out to a teammate who gathers cleanly. Stevens does well and then pokes the kick up to a teammate who marks at half back. Wastes no time. Moves it to a spare in Elton. He's just forward of the wing. He's got Overington running for him. There are tired legs everywhere. His vision is great and his kick to Sweeney is perfect. In the middle of the ground now. He can come broadcast side if he wants. Spares inside 50 was Wagner. Fabian from behind got up, couldn't take the mark. Josh King at ground level to free kick going. We're waiting for the umpire to point. It's going to be a free kick to the Bombers.
Well, Riley, we've been praying for the game to open up, and hasn't it what? The footy's gone from end to end to end. It's exciting footy now. This is what grand finals are made of. I'll tell you what, I want to go back to a couple of key plays. Sam Lubke will barely have a stat to his name today, but gee, he's been good on Murray. the absolute premier forward of this competition, and he's held him to 1 and he's made him earn absolutely every touch today. As Westra's got the footy, he sends along, but it's going to be cut off.
Tell you what, at the moment, Mitch, every touch by the Hawks is just cheered on by their fans.
Well, I think minute by minute there's another dozen or so Hawks shirts make their way down to the fence. As we saw last week, when their women in the Division 1 final were spurred on.
You can see them everywhere around the fence at the moment, the Hawks fans, as Juffs King wins a free kick for holding the ball. There are a fair few amount of Hawks kids having a kick on that far field, which you can kind of see in the background. But I tell you what, since this game's just gotten down to the important moments, they've all come around the fence.
Yeah, it's great to see. I think this breeze is certainly going to send this ball left to right. I think the big ruckman might not have the carry in his legs this late in the game.
So Tristan Juffs King. A slow, steady approach from 50. I tell you what, he starts it at the goalpost. Has it got the legs? It has! Arms in the air. He points to his coach's box. And it is all the Sandgate Hawks at the moment, except it's a behind. Maybe it was touched on the line. I think we all kind of missed that. Meanwhile, the Bombers have moved the ball to half back. We were all caught up in the moment. Norrish goes quickly to a spare. He's just going to move the ball quickly. Has a bounce. Where are the numbers now for the Bombers? They've got a couple of spare on the wing. Sweeney needs to get across an impact for the Hawks. He does. He gathers cleanly. Clean pair of feels. And then his kick to Elton asks a lot. Norrish has to go back and get it. Ball's kept in play. Still plenty of time for the Bombers. They trail by 10. Dillon gets the ball. Shows a burst of speed. His kick was affected at the last moment, but the mark was taken well by Jordan Riley, who's had good moments today. Inside forward 50. His teammate sits under it. Takes the mark. So Jaden Brown, man on the mark, 45 metres out or thereabouts. Ponders his options.
Murphy's calling for it long in the square. It's a one-on-one. Tracks pretty well. Just too strong.
And there we go. Back to 4 points, all happening here at Red Rooster Park. What a crazy 2 minutes of play, Mitch. I don't know what happened. I thought for all money that Juffs King had kicked the goal.
Well, I was too busy writing my apology after I'd written him off. I thought he'd kicked it. Turns out it was touched on the line. Alex Hills go coast to coast. Lubke was forced out of the square to try and make a contest to that ball at the top of the 50, which left Murray basically one-on-one and had the upper hand. Ball goes to him, pushes off, easy as goal. And boy, oh boy, do we have a finish coming up here. 4 points the margin. Probably a tick over, or a bit over halfway of this quarter gone.
Well, there's still, with what's happened in this last quarter, so much time left. As we're set for a grandstand finish at Red Rooster Park. Westerberg's in the ruck as Juffs King's gone forward. Love it. Kicked an important goal. Hills fans, Bombers fans want a free kick. I tell you what, the pressure's gone up through the roof.
We'll talk about momentum swings. It's all the Bombers' way here again at the moment after Sandgate managed to wrestle the ascendancy.
Great composure by Bevan. Danced one way then the other, and the kick up to half forward, although brilliant spoil by Murphy. Loved his game today, although I think he might have given away a free kick. He's got to get the ball back quickly. Up to half forward. Murray's the target. He's got to come from behind and impact it. Livesey dropped it. And a heap of pack of players around the football. I'm just getting word, Mitch. So when we thought Juffs King kicked the goal, it was a free kick. Not exactly sure what for, but that's the word that we're getting at the moment. So it was a crucial, it was a 12-point play in the end because it would have put the Hawks up by 3 goals or 3 kicks. And now all of a sudden we're back to 4 points. We're in the time on. 17 minutes plus time on in this grand final. Ball in at the top of the 50 for the Bombers. Overington the clearance. Love it now with space and time. Puts it out to Fabian, although the kick kind of left him at the last moment. And Norrish headed out over the line. So margin 3 points, in fact, because what we thought was a behind to the Hawks, it was in fact not. Plenty of goals in this last quarter, 3 to the Hawks. The Bombers with the last one as well, to Ben Murray. Kicked 2 in this second half. They've gone forward about 10 metres at the moment, the Hawks, although the Bombers bring it back. Now, Lovett has had a great last quarter. Plenty of impactful plays. McCarthy, a brilliant one-hand gather in midair. Hand pass out and pass in the front of a teammate who then just kicked it forward 30 metres. Half forward now. Can they be clean? Get a hand pass away at the last moment. Murray inside forward 50. How does it bounce? It comes off his shin. He's following up. Good pick-up by Lubke, I think. Kick went to the top of the 50. Bombers inside forward 50. That kick didn't go 15. Umpire said play on. The hand pass wide was really errand to the Bombers. And then Jaden Brown kicked it in to Murray, and he took it! That's a really impressive mark by Ben Murray. And it's just all happening here at Red Rooster Park at the moment, Mitch. The footy's flying about. It's like we've entered a completely new, different game. And Ben Murray, with 82 goals for the year, has the opportunity to put his side in front in the last quarter of a grand final with not too many minutes left to go.
7-3. They've been accurate this afternoon. They kick this, they'll turn a 3-point deficit into a 3-point lead with about 5 or so left on the clock. It looks good. Murray pumps the fist, and the Alex Hills Bombers are back in front. He's got 3.
It's our 5th lead change of the day. Had 2 in this last quarter.
Phenomenal quarter of footy, just when we thought Sandgate had all the momentum and we're going to open up this grand final. Alex Hills have wrestled it back.
And oh my, it's tense. It's very, very tense here at Red Rooster Park. Alex Hills looking to go back to back. Just King back into the right. Love it. Great work. Hand pass to Sweeney on his boot. Tackled as he was kicked. Got it up to half forward. Both players wrestling for the footy. Spoil affected by the Bombers. And now they'll come broadcast side. Oh, great bit of play there by O'Hara at the last minute. Picked up by Stevens to Sweeney to O'Hara. He needs a nice bounce. He's got Stevens if he wants. Instructions coming from the bench. And Connor Stevens had some good moments today. Wheels around on his left foot. Inside forward 50 go the Hawks. No mark taken at ground level. Oh, was that out of bounds on the full? Boundary umpire says no. Last lot of changes being made. Poppleton, who kicked a goal to put the Hawks in front, and Lucas Kent. This game's got, well, we don't know if it's got a goal, but there's got to be, 1, maybe 2 goals left in it at max. It's been a fantastic final quarter here in the QFA Division 2 North Senior Grand Final. Westerberg just grabs the ball out of the right. Kick to the top of the goal square. Knocked out at the last moment when it looked like the Bombers had taken a mark. They're playing around the boundary line, and they rush it behind. Lachlan Riley. And then they move the ball quickly. About 35 out from the Hawks' goal. Back to Riley. Had a good day in defence. Accurate kick. So content just to take a couple of moments off the clock here, the Bombers. They can afford it. They're up by 2 points. McKean to a heap of players. And there's Joel Ambekshire. I apologise to him. There is no way I pronounced his name once correctly, but he's taken a strong contested mark. And it's just a long kick down the line to a heap of players. Hawks have front position courtesy of Just King. Norrish now for the Bombers. Just tried to curl one round. Didn't really have much to go to, so it's a turnover. Torpedo spins and twirls. Can't take the mark, although Barker had a good second half. Just a floater inside forward 50. Elton had front position. It was spoiled. Chardon, clean pair of heels to Barker from the pocket. The left footer. Shot on goal. Out of bounds on the full. A point wouldn't have even been too bad for Sandgate because it would have given them the opportunity to at least have another attacking foray or have the ball inside their forward 50. I think they've got to kick a goal now.
Yeah, what it does is just pin the ball a little bit deeper into that pocket rather than giving them the full field to work with from a behind. So
it's one-on-ones all around the ground. Yeah. Sandgate have to match up.
Yeah, just about every player inside the forward half now. Murray's the only one deep forward of centre. So Sandgate with plenty of numbers behind the footy here. Called to play on. No, the mark's been taken now. So they come inside. Sweeney with the footy. A good opportunity here to have a good look and load up in a forward 50. Who's going to be under it? He's gone long. Has he got the carry? I think he has.
I think the goal umpire's saying a behind. In fact, we've got a free kick. It must have been a free kick for a hold.
It looks like it. He's picked it up right on the boundary line, right on the goal line.
That was a terrific kick from Sweeney. It's going to be Josh Westerberg. He's kicked 2 goals today to put his side in front. Westerberg kicks it.
He's got 3. And more importantly, Sandgate wrestle back the lead. What a final quarter this is. We have got just about a minute left of real time.
This last quarter's had so many twists and turns, and there is still time for the Bombers to have one last say. But I just love the vision, and we've seen it so many times today, Mitch, when sides use the ball by foot and change the angle and use the width of the ground. That kick from McElligott to Sweeney, and then he sent it so long in the wind. In fact, it nearly went through for a goal on its own. And then a free kick going the way of Westerberg.
Well, here we go. We've got a grandstand finish. Sandgate line up with their best 4. Luffs King, Lovett, Sweeney, and Overington. McKean in the middle for the Bombers. They've got their hands on the footy. Can they clear it? Lovett cleans up. Ball spills out. Hot footy. Everyone diving at this. There is nothing left in the tank. What a grand final we've had today.
I think I caught it, Mitch. I think we're set. This is going to be an all-time classic. It's a grandstand finish. Still time for the Bombers. The hit out. Love it. Flicked over. Another hand pass. Overington has just kept working all day. Needs to gather it. He does. Went down. Took the tackle. Ball knocked out. Bombers need to be clean. They are running out of time. Players from both sides jump on the footy. How does the umpire see this? Holding the ball. They've got to be near perfect. They go quickly. Lundy Jenkins. And it's out over the boundary line.
Seconds remain. It's been an absolute seesawing final term. But Sandgate sit on top of what might be a premiership lead. As they tick down, this is going to have to be a clearance to Alex Hills. They get it out. It goes long. Dylan's under the footy. It's punched away. And that might be it. You can feel the tension in the air. The Sandgate faithful looking around. They're all staring at the timekeeper. They know there can't be long left. 4 points the margin. So as we wait for the ball to be thrown in, it's almost going to have to be clearance kick for Alex Hills. They get the tap. Plenty of players diving on the footy. The seconds tick away. That's it. The siren is gone, and Sandgate are the 2024 QFA Division North Alpha Sport Premiers. What a grand final we've just witnessed, Riley.
Oh, it's almost unbelievable, Mitch. Sandgate only kicked 4 goals to three-quarter time, and they've managed to put 4 goals on in the last quarter. We had, by my count, 3 lead changes in the last quarter, with that goal from Josh Westerberg coming with just over a minute left in the last quarter. It caps off a near perfect season for the Hawks. They went 15-1, although the first semi-final between these two sides was decided by 3 points. This grand final's been decided by 4, and it had tension and drama. We thought that Just King had put them up by 3 kicks with about 7 or 8 minutes to go. And then we found out there was a free kick, and the Bombers went down the other end, and Ben Murray, who's kicked 83 goals for the year, kicked his 83rd goal. It was back to 4 points. The Bombers then managed to get themselves in front, courtesy of Murray. But then that play from McElligott, who took the intercept mark at half-back, switched the ball into the middle so bravely to Harry Sweeney, who then sent a long kick to the goal square, and Westerberg was given a free kick. And he went back and put his side in front. They managed to play the minutes out, and Sandgate premiers for 2024.
O'Reilly, absolute ripping grand final. There's hundreds of people amassed on the oval. Look how much it means to the Sandgate Footy Club. I'm going to shoot off. I'm going to go run presentations down at ground level. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone that's listened in. What a grand final.
Indeed it was. It was a low-scoring affair to three-quarter time. We go quarter by quarter. Sandgate 2-2-14. Alex Hills 1-2-8 at quarter time. At half-time, the Bombers were in front 3-2-20 to the Hawks 2-4-16. The Bombers kicked 3 goals to 2 in the second quarter, 6-3-39, 4-5-29. They led at three-quarter time, but the Hawks got on a bit of run and finished winners 8-7-55 to the Bombers 8-3-51. The goal kickers for the Premiers, 3 goals to Josh Westerberg, and then signals to Angus Wagner, Jarvis Poppleton, Will Lovett, Jared Marola, and Darcy Johnstone. Lovett's goal in particular, a 40 to 45 metre snap. Sorry, just a moment. Mitch and I are kind of putting our votes together for best on ground. I think we're happy with where we've ended up. Sorry, goal kickers for the Bombers. 3 to Ben Murray. He finishes with 83 for the year. Put his side back in front with about 6 minutes to go to Lachlan McKean, the left footer. Very good game today. And then singles apiece to Jake Payne, Shannon McCarthy and Zachary Seller. It was a cracking last quarter one. I'm sure that Sandgate fans will watch for years to come. It's been a glorious day here at Red Rooster Park as we've played off for the QFA Division 2 North Alpha Premiership. In the end, the Sandgate Hawks coming away premiers by 4 points. We're going to film. Presentations will be filmed, although they might be a bit tricky to see at times on this live stream. But for all of those that have tuned in today, we've got the QFAW Division 2 North Grand Final happening at 4:15, so in about half an hour's time. Thanks for tuning in. Congratulations to the Hawks. Commiserations to the Bombers. It was a terrific grand final, a great way to end the season. So stay tuned for the presentations. Otherwise, thanks for joining in, and till next time, catch you later.